Welcome to IPL 5. This is Gwin here with Quantic Gaming, continuing the media coverage here. And I have not a player, but probably a figurehead in esports to some extent. It's none other than owner of Complexity?
Yes, one of the owners, and I'm the founder of Complexity Gaming.
Founder of Complexity. So, it's great to have you here at the event. It's great to see you. I'm really curious about some of your perspectives on the scene. So, to start off, StarCraft is a really cool game.
Absolutely.
Right? But we've sort of seen a little bit of a decline, maybe in some of the viewership of some content. Is this something that you see in games past? Because Complexity's been around for...
about 10 years now.
Yeah, about a decade.
Yeah. I definitely want to preface by saying I'm not an expert at StarCraft.
Sure.
I go to my friend Liquid Nazgul, Victor of Team Liquid,
and
like to bounce ideas and thoughts off of him because he's kind of the pro. We come from an FPS background.
Right.
Counter-Strike was our bread and butter back in the day.
1.4, man, 1.6.
Yeah, 1.3, 1.6, all that good stuff. But, during that time we branched out and we've had multiple games over the years, from fighting games to Shoot Mania now. StarCraft, I think, is a fantastic game. And I've said this in other interviews, but I never, ever envisioned it taking off in the West the way that it has, just judging by the Brood War history. It was always kind of the redheaded stepchild of Western esports, and it really exploded. And in my opinion, StarCraft is a large reason for kind of a renaissance in esports, kind of a revival, if you will, a new birth almost. That brought in a lot of new interest, brought in a lot of new leagues and new sponsors, and hats off to StarCraft. And obviously League of Legends is a juggernaut now. You mentioned StarCraft's decline a little bit is being observed by some of us who follow such things. I think right now, League of Legends, the last number I got tweeted was over 200,000 viewers.
Wow.
And, StarCraft, I believe, and I'll get raised if I'm wrong, but I think is in the 20s. So we're pushing about 10 times the audience for League of Legends. So obviously people that love StarCraft are kind of going, what's going on? I think there's a lot of problems that I'm not qualified to speak to. Things that I hear, however, are oversaturation. You hear rumors of, with the next game kind of coming up, maybe people are just kind of holding off. They're so full of StarCraft content. They're like, I'll just be back when Heart of the Swarm comes out. It's kind of refreshing change. But I'm not really sure. I know Blizzard, there's rumors around, I should say, that Blizzard may be doing some things to really prop up and support StarCraft in 2013. So I think from what I'm hearing, those are going to be some interesting and hopefully healthy changes.
Yeah.
But it's really tough to say. The numbers are going down, and it's a bit perplexing. You ask me if I've seen that in other games. Not really the same, man. It's kind of like it was such an astronomical rise in the West, at least. It's always been big in Asia.
It exploded, right?
Yeah, it was just overnight. You're getting the streaming numbers that were...
Yeah, we started with MLG with like a $10,000 or $5,000 prize pool.
Right.
And in 2010, and
it just blew up. And I never, and I've said this before as well, ever pictured myself as an RTS type of gamer. I very much have FPS in my blood. Even just right before I flew here, I was playing the beta version of Firefall and just blowing stuff up. Yeah, it's an MMO FPS, and I just love FPS. But I'm like, if I'm in this business, I always try all the games, and I try even games I don't think I'll like, just so at least I can speak to it a little bit, and I know what the terms mean and what the characters are. And when I started playing StarCraft, I loved it. I just was instantly. I played through, the game itself. The campaign, before I went online, and I just loved the game. And it has a lot of redeeming qualities, and I definitely don't think it's going anywhere. Whether it can hold the massive numbers that it's enjoyed over the past 2 years, I think is very much to be seen. I think, from what I hear, Blizzard is kind of aware of that, and obviously they love the franchise, and
they want esports.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, and it says a lot when Mike Morhaime, the CEO of Blizzard, is sitting in the front row of some of these events, and he doesn't just show up for the camera and then head out to the pool.
No, he's there the whole time.
He's there the whole day, and I'm in and out. I'm watching League, I'm watching StarCraft, I'm over at Shoot Mania, I'm talking to people, doing interviews, just networking, and I go back, and he's in the same seat like 5 hours later. I mean, the people at Blizzard genuinely love their games.
Oh, yeah.
They live their games, and that means a lot. And they're not phonies. They really care about gaming. Yeah. So I'm confident in Blizzard's hands. StarCraft's going to be strong for years to come.
That's a great perspective on that. It's really true. Blizzard does really, really care about the games. Kind of on the topic of rises and falls. How does an organization like Complexity? You guys have been around for a decade. You've seen a lot of games through. You've dropped games. You've picked up games. You've dropped teams. You've picked up teams. How do you decide that a game, like for instance, you just got a Shoot Mania team? Yeah. How did you decide that was something that you guys needed to do?
Yeah, I mean, for team managers, I do a show called The Executives, and this is like a perfect topic we should talk about sometime. It's one of the $1 million questions. What games do you invest your money into, or your sponsors, money to provide your sponsors with ROI? When we first started in gaming, many of us old timers, we simply brought on the games that we liked. Yeah. It was like there wasn't a lot of money back then, and we liked the game. You bring it in, and let's go. But as you gain sponsors, as you gain obligations to people who are investing money in your organization and believe in your vision, you owe them a duty to provide the best ROI, which is often measured not necessarily direct product sales, which can be hard to quantify. Sorry, quantify. But eyeballs. Right. Obviously,
how many eyes saw this ad?
Right. How many saw your logo here? How many saw your ad here? How many saw the shout out to Sound Blaster or whatever there? That sort of thing. So, to be honest, it saddens me a little bit because as the business matures, like any sport or activity before it, business considerations must start to be tantamount. And a lot of times, frankly, these days, games are picked by the audience size or what we believe the potential for the audience size is. There are always different considerations. Sometimes an organization might pick up a team because they really like the game, or sometimes, quite frankly, there may be developer support. Developers might come in and be like, we're going to pay for this game for a year if you field our game. Yep. And that's kind of a win-win because you've got a free division that can bring your other sponsors ROI. So, I mean, there's a lot of different reasons, but it started in the good old days just because you loved a game like we love Counter-Strike. And today, games like League of Legends with 200,000 people watching live, these are better than some cable TV numbers.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
People always ask me, are you guys looking at League? Are you looking at League? It's like, come on. Of course we're looking at League.
Like, how do you not see League? It's right in front of you.
Of course we're looking at League. It's such a big game. You want to take your time and try to make a wise choice and not rush into it. And, we've had a team before. They were great. But it was before League was where it is now. And now that the stakes are much higher, so we are taking our time. Of course, we're looking at League of Legends. So those are some of the things and the thought processes that go into picking up a squad.
All right. And on the flip side of that, how, if you look at something, you're investing a lot of money into a game, into a team, and stuff's on a decline, maybe like, have you guys dropped your CS 1.6?
Yeah. So a while back, absolutely.
So, how did that decision?
It's just the other side of the same, the answer I just gave you. The numbers are way down and the squad is expensive. The ROI doesn't make sense. If you got a Counter-Strike team of 5 people, it costs you a minimum of $10,000 every time they travel to Europe for a tournament. Yep. If there's 3,000 people watching, you're like, we just spent $10,000-$15,000. Yeah, it's total. Maybe there was 10,000 unique people saw them. Maybe they didn't place well or whatever, and that doesn't even go into the amount of management that's invested in team games can quite often be significant because people tend to start arguing and fighting, and there's just a lot of hand-holding sometimes, and there's a lot of things that go in, and we definitely haven't mastered what game to have at what time. I don't know that anybody really has, or that anybody has the secret formula. You just kind of go by your gut and your experience and hope you have the right games and the right people in the organization at the right time.
All right. Wow, it's a really tough road doing what you do in esports, and I don't envy you guys at all. You guys got to make real tough choices.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. You really have to love esports. Yeah. There are many people that go without getting interviews. Like this guy, what you see on YouTube is you see these nice videos and maybe you tweet him and say, great job. You don't know he had to walk like a half a mile to get me, find me, pick me out of the crowd, take me through the secret Batcave entrance drag me up here. He's got his Nexus 7. I'm going to buy him an iPad mini. And he's got all his stuff organized. People don't realize the amount of work and how much your feet hurt and how tired you are from traveling and the networking. And, you know, you're one guy. And there's all these people here that, frankly, most of us really don't make a lot of money. We love esports.
Yeah.
That's why we're here. We're passionate about what we do. And you've got all these people contributing and in love with what we're all trying to build. And, you know, I was meeting with Alex Garfield at EG today, and I said, you know, I want, when my son Jordan and my daughter Allie are in their 20s, I want this thing to be so big that they look back on it and look at my contributions, whatever they were, and be like, you know, our dad helped build this thing, you know? Like, I mean, the generations after the guys who built the NFL are like, yo, my grandpa helped build, you know, I want that. And if you're not passionate about it, you won't last long. You see people come in and they think they make a quick buck or build their resume doing some interviews or whatever. They're gone like that. Yeah. It's because often it's a thankless job, and you guys are doing a great job with what you're doing. The setup is amazing. It's incredibly professional, and hats off to Quantic and Mark and his entire team, Ian and you. And it's often the people that you never see that are really driving it. People with red ties sometimes get the
guy over there,
get the interviews, which is great, and I'm happy to do them. But there's a lot of people that work thankless jobs, so I'd just like to say thank you to them, because they're truly the unsung heroes of building this thing.
It definitely is true. I mean, so much work goes on behind the scenes, and the amount of time that I spend on camera is a fraction of the amount of time that goes into editing and putting these online so that everyone can enjoy them.
Absolutely.
Any shout-outs you want to make? Any last words?
You know, just thanks to my partner, Jason Bass, one of my best friends in the world, and he has a back surgery on Monday. He was supposed to be here with me, but has emergency back surgery of all things. So best wishes go out to him and his family during that time. Thanks to everyone that works with me at Complexity. Thanks to Quantic for the interview. Of course, thanks to our sponsors, Sound Blaster and QPad and the crew over at Nation Voice. And we just really are thankful for the people that believe in us and support us. Ryan over at Sound Blaster has been a champion of us for many, many years now. And there's not really words that can express your gratitude if you're out there busting your hump all the time. And these people are like, hey, I've got some money and I'm willing to back you. Yeah. And it means a lot. So thanks. And thanks to all our fans. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
That's awesome. Remember, guys, support the people who support esports. That means those sponsors. That means the people behind the scenes, the leaders of the companies here. I think that wraps it up here. This is Gwin with Quantic, signing off.